Hello everyone, I'm back. Last week I just got very busy with various events and midterms and everything, but now that I'm on break I should have plenty of time to make speed paints and other stuff for this channel. Also, I'm planning a few special videos over the winter to make for you guys. Hopefully one will be out next week. It may take a little bit more time, but I'm hoping to get it out by next week, and I think you all will like it. But for this week, I decided to just do a simple little speed paint with my usual style and everything to sort of relax after having a very busy week last week. So for this speed paint, I'm just drawing some fun OCs. I feel like for this channel, I've just been drawing sort of the same thing over and over again. This is pretty much just because I'm lazy and drawing a variety of characters is difficult. But now that I have the time, I'm gonna be trying to draw a better variety of just poses and characters to try to keep things interesting. With that in mind, I decided to draw one of the OCs that I haven't drawn in a really long time. The character on screen is actually the first OC I ever made. Or at least the first human OC I've ever made. A really long time ago, I probably had a warrior cat OC or two, but this is the first OC that I have had and have actually spent time thinking about for longer than a month. I distinctly remember that when I first made him, he was, of course, very edgy. And I've definitely, as you can probably see, toned back his edginess quite a lot, but he has kept his edgy name, Sai. I guess his full name, that I gave him way back when I created him, is Cypress, as in the tree, not the place. It had some sort of edgy, symbolic reason. It doesn't fit his story anymore because it's changed so much, but again, I refuse to change his name. His edgy name, has always been Cypress. It stayed that way for this long, I'm not changing it now. The most fun part about drawing this piece was definitely just remembering what Cypress looked like and trying to get his pose to look like his personality and just playing around with his facial expressions. As I said, I haven't drawn him in a while, so it was really fun to see him come together in this way. I feel like all of my old drawings of him were really just seemed incomplete, or at least not like the character I was envisioning in my head. But now that I'm a bit better at drawing, it was really fun to draw him and see his design get at least a little bit closer to how I was envisioning his design to be in my head. I'm still not completely happy with his design, and it still needs a lot of tweaking. I think his face and his hair look a lot better than it used to, but the outfit he's wearing isn't actually part of his real design. I forget why, but when I started this piece, I was just like, oh, I wonder what Sai would look like in a fantasy setting. So that's what I ended up drawing. He's not really a fantasy character, but either way, it was really fun to draw him, and I really liked playing around with his fantasy outfit and what it might look like. Admittedly, I didn't change all that much. His vest usually looks a little bit different, his shirt is usually a different color, and he doesn't wear the sash thing on his hip. But other than that, this design is pretty similar to his usual design. Well, I guess he usually doesn't wear those boots either, but his color scheme stayed pretty similar to his usual design's color scheme. After I had finished coloring and everything, I moved on to shading, and I don't know what I did, but I really liked how the shading turned out in this piece. I think I made it a bit softer than how I usually shade. I'm not sure, but I'll probably try to shade more like this in the future, because I do really like how it turned out. I tried a pretty similar thing for the highlights. I used a much softer brush and I tried to just smooth it out a lot more to make it look a lot more polished, sort of like the shading, and I think it ended up working out pretty well. I think they look pretty good together. I'd talk more about Sai in the speed paint, but I was sort of thinking about making one of those evolution of my OCs videos, or my OCs then to now. I think that'd be really fun, especially because Cypress has changed a lot. He was really edgy in the beginning, and he's sort of toned back at each stage of his development, so I think it would be really fun to draw the differences and explain them. I don't know, let me know in the comments if you guys would watch that. I'd have a ton of fun drawing it. But anyway, I think that just about wraps up this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Goodbye!